You still hear me?
I can hear you.
I said, you know you're in my old stomping grounds, don't you?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to live right outside of Orange Park.
Oh, really? Which way? South?
I used to be off 118th Street and Blandon Boulevard.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida.
Nice. We're right off of Blanding Boulevard too right now.
Are you?
Yeah, probably like 500 feet. Alrighty, let's see. People are starting to come in here. All right, welcome everybody. We're just getting ready, getting set up. CB's getting all set up here. What's up, George? George McClure. Alvin, how you doing? Mr. Pool Noodle, good morning. Good morning from Manila. I didn't know you were from Manila. Awesome. What time is it over there? Let's see. Here's George. Howdy, George. All righty. Let's see. People are starting to come in here. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're just getting ready, getting set up. CB's getting all set up here. What's up, George? Alvin, how are you doing, Mr. Pool Noodle? Good morning. Good morning from Manila. I didn't know you were from Manila. Awesome. What time is it over there? Hey, CB, we're getting an echo back from yours. Do you have YouTube muted?
I'm muted YouTube.
Okay.
It looks like my camera's messing up now.
Yeah, it's going in and out a little bit, but the echo's gone now. Let me see who else is coming in here really quick. Tiffany, hello. Thank you for coming in. Alvin, 6:59. First thing, so bright and early in the morning. Well, thank you for spending your morning with us. Jim, how are you doing? Appreciate you stopping by. Tammy, how are you? All righty. We've got CB from CB's Greenhouse here with us today. And if y'all kind of know who CB is, kind of say yes in the chat. And those who don't, CB, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself a little and tell people a little bit about what you do.
Okay. Hey, everybody. CB from CB's over here. We just do a little bit of hydroponic gardening. As you see behind me, this is the pepper house. The camera is messing up. Should I stop something, Mike?
Let's see. If you need to, you can always jump out and jump back in. Or, you know, when you're in there's the settings.
It looks fine on the StreamYard, but it's on the YouTube side where it's all messed up.
Let's see. You on YouTube. Y'all bear with us for 1 second. We're trying to get set up here. We're like technically challenged people.
It looks perfect in StreamYard. It's YouTube ain't looking right.
Okay, so that's probably because you've got like only one bar.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so you're probably lagging by the time it get set. So right where you're at, it's probably lagging a little bit. But yeah, CB, you can just tell people a little bit about what you do and gardening, and then we're gonna have a couple people pop in here and ask you some questions.
All right. Like I say, we do a hydroponic in Dutch buckets in the pepper house here. I actually doing 3 different ways. I got the Dutch buckets on the sides. We got RDWC down the middle right here. And then on my right side over here, I have 3 DWC. I've got several videos on this showing how to set all this up. I did actually this year when I built this greenhouse. This is number 2. I done it from scratch, and I put videos up step by step from the build, from the ground up, all the way to where it's at right now, so people can check it out. You might want to do them a little hydroponic growing like they're doing, like I'm doing over here. This one, like I say, this is all gourmet peppers in here this year. Everything hot is planted outside. and they wanted a bunch more sweet peppers in here. So I decided to go all gourmet peppers with this one here. And I'm telling you, I've never grown these type of peppers before, and they are really, really amazing. The heat we've had August heat in May. That was unreal. 100 degrees in May.
Yep.
You know what that does to plants.
Yeah, it's brutal. Brutal start.
A lot of people ask how I keep this water cool and my roots and all cooled down. Well, every afternoon when I get home from my real job, I freeze 1 gallon buckets of actually the hydroponic nutrients is frozen in the bucket. I bring a bucket out here and drop it in and let it break free, and then I drop that whole block of ice into the tank itself right before it's feed time. It cools it off. I've been doing that for many years using that ice trick, but I'm too cheap to get a cooler, man. You know how much them things cost?
Oh yeah.
A chiller? Yeah, chiller would be nice, but I'm scared it would really run the light bill up on this one here, especially running 3 different ways in this greenhouse. It would put a chiller to shame probably. But as you see, everything's growing perfectly in here. I'm not having any issues at all. Just doing it with my ice blocks. That was the main thing I was concerned about. But having this raised off the ground 2 foot and the whole bottom screened all the way in, the door screened in, and I got a big window behind me there that's screened in. I got 2 box fans up top. One is actually blowing across to this one up here, and this one blows the hot air on out through that top. So it's working out really well. I'm really proud of this. To be such a cheap greenhouse. Done a lot of work to it, but it's doing really good.
Yeah, cool. And then with the like you've got the Dutch buckets there. I know it's if you have straight like the DWC and that water temperature gets up really high, it's not good for the plants. But then with the Dutch buckets, is it a little? I know it's still hard in that, but is it a little easier than the DWC, or are they about the same?
No, actually, the Dutch buckets is a whole lot easier because I only run my pump 3 times a day. It comes on 6 a.m., noontime, and then 6 p.m. So it's only feeding out of the tank 3 times a day. Now, the people that are actually running 24/7 on Dutch buckets, they have issues because of the heat. You know, that pump, especially in this one here, because this greenhouse is on a tilt, so I had to step up my pump. I got a pretty good sized pump inside that reservoir down there to be able to get it back up the hill to this end over here. But that pump generates quite a bit of heat in these. Now the RDWC behind me in the middle here, now that one runs 24/7, but it is a very, very small pump. It's only 8 buckets sitting on the floor there. So I have a small pump feeding a top line to them, and plus every one of the buckets have air stone.
Oh, okay, each one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I watched your little setup when you're putting it all together and running the pipe and everything.
Well, like I say, I've got step-by-step instructions and the full bill on this exactly. You know, a lot of them was boring. I kept saying that. People saying, quit saying that, it ain't boring to us, but a lot of people was because, you know, they wanted me to break it down piece by piece, so I made a strict video for each step of this greenhouse.
Right.
Easy as possible for everybody to follow along if they want to try to do the same thing.
Cool. Did you see George asked what temperature the water's at?
What's the temperature
now? He'll get you up to date, accurate temperature right at the moment.
The pump come on at 6 o'clock. It's 7:06 now, so the pump runs for 15 minutes. And after it cooled off, when I put my block of ice in there, I try to get that ice put in about 15 minutes before the pump comes on in the afternoon. The water temp right now is sitting at 80 degrees after the pump. Like I said, it's a pretty big pump, but it brings it down to about 72 degrees for me.
Okay, cool. Hey, let me get Shirley popped in here real quick. She wants to ask a question. Let me see if I can pop her in. Device not connected. Yeah, well, let's see. We can't hear you, Shirley. If you're back there, you've got to go ahead and allow StreamYard to connect with your video and your audio to pop on, okay? All right. I was having trouble bringing someone in. They need to connect their mic and webcam. If anybody wants to go ahead and hop on here, let me see. I'll give you a little code. There's a link down in the description, and you can click it, but you have to allow StreamYard to use access your mic and your camera, and then you'll be backstage, and I can bring you on here, and you can ask CB a question. So if any of you guys ever want to be on YouTube, you can just do that. Click the link down in the description, follow the simple instructions, and then you'll be up here with us. And Shirley, you're back there right now, but you're not connected. You have to maybe try it again. Alrighty, and what do you call it, Marty?
You want me to drop the YouTube here and just stay in the StreamYard, and then you can pop the questions up for me, and let's see if my camera straightens out for them.
Okay, you can try that. Let me see what somebody else has one more question here. While waiting for Shirley, Jim had a question. If you can read that, to use a double bucket on your Dutch bucket system.
I have, yes, I have. And a double Dutch bucket works really well. The only issue you have on a double Dutch bucket is your roots are now not actually got that inch of water no more, that nutrient to sit in. So you would probably have to run your pump a little bit more. A lot of the people that do 24/7 do a double Dutch bucket just to keep the roots out of the bottom of the drain and all. But I haven't used a double Dutch bucket in a while now because I just didn't see a reason for it anymore. The roots, if they don't keep wet all the time, then you'll start running it. Again, you're going to have some problems with drying out, heat, that first flush of water to it, kind of shocks the plant a little bit. So I just quit doing the double.
Okay, cool. And then let's see.
Did my camera straighten out?
Yeah, it's doing a little better. Like I said, we're just getting a little bit fading in and out.
Okay, because I dropped YouTube off.
Okay. Here we go. Alvin asks, what's the mineral composition you're using for the tomatoes? Your parts per million and pH.
Everybody, I can't preach enough on my videos. pH is a critical factor when you're doing big type of hydroponic growing that I'm doing. My sweet spot, there's two sweet spots that I speak of all the time. 5.8 for hydroponics, 6.8 if you're in the ground, or straw bales, or whatever else you're growing. But that's the two magic numbers. In these greenhouses, I keep them at 5.8 to 6.0 all the time. I check it every morning. I check it every afternoon. I make sure that the pH stays in check. If you do not keep that pH in check, then these plants cannot uptake that nutrients. You're going to get a nutrient lockout. And it's very critical to keep up. Now, as far as the tomato house over there, I run 1,000 ppm when they're in full grown. I start off at 600 ppm on seedlings. About 2 weeks after the 600 ppm, I move it up to 800 ppm. And then once the plant gets a couple 3 foot tall, I raise it on up to 1,000 ppm and I let it stay at 1,000 the whole time. These gourmet peppers out here is a total different ball game. These babies want some nutrient now, and they want it good and strong. I run right about, I'm doing the EC market. A lot of people want me to change over to EC to tell them on 2.8, 3.0 EC. 2.0 is 1,000, so at 3 you're looking at 1,500. I try to keep these in here between about 15 to 1,800 ppm because they're wanting it really a lot more. Now this is for sweet peppers only. Hot peppers, you're gonna want to run them around 1,000 just like you do with tomatoes. Hot peppers don't like the strong nutrient. These sweet peppers require it.
Cool deal. And like you said, you've got videos on all your channel and all this stuff.
Yeah. Now, what I've done is because we do straw bale gardening, we've always put a video out every Monday. It's
right.
Usually a garden update. Well, now that I have 2 greenhouses, I try to keep my videos under 10 minutes so they're watchable. But it's just too much now. So what I started is what I'm calling Hydro Thursday. So both greenhouses get put out a video for Thursday, and then I'll let Renee do the straw bales on Monday, like we always do.
Cool deal. The straw bales thing's pretty cool. I like that.
How much daylight do I get? I do not use any artificial light out here. It's daybreak at 5:30 a.m. here, and it don't get dark till this time of year. It won't get dark till 9 o'clock at night. So that's plenty. How am I maintaining my lower pH? I use General Hydroponics pH Down.
And that I know you've got a video on that. I've seen you adjusting your pH.
Yeah, like I say, I got this last video I just put out shows a whole lot about how I maintain. Check out the one that is marked how I maintain my nutrient. That will show you exactly how I'm keeping up with everything.
Yep. And that's what we do. We do things a little different. Now you've got like that, almost your entire system that's sitting behind of you is running off of one tank, right? And it recirculates.
Yeah, just the Dutch buckets.
Just the Dutch buckets. And then you've got
RDWC has a tank sitting on a big barrel at the end down there that runs out of it.
Okay. And then that's what
3 DWCs are 3 10-gallon totes.
Cool. Let's see.
Now in the wintertime, I used to do some winter growing. The main problem with the winter growing here, we get really cold. In case people don't know, I'm in North Carolina. And we get down in the low teens. Year before last, we actually went -1, -2 for a couple of days. Froze my whole system up. I had to ditch the whole system. That was with a big buddy heater running in there, trying to keep it warm, and it still froze up. I had aquarium heaters. I do run it. That's another thing I do when I first start off.
Right.
First year when it's still cold, I have big aquarium heaters, like the 200, 300 watt aquarium heaters. I put them in the reservoir. I keep that water around that 70 degrees to get them kicked off. But on the RDWC, I run a 400 watt aquarium heater in that one to keep it around that 70 degrees. But once it gets down in them low teens, I mean, you're really fighting there. I've had to just burn a big aquarium heater, slam up, trying to keep up with it. So I give up winter growing.
Yeah, I mean, this past year was like really brutal across the top of the country there. It's down here we only had one day that kind of got close to freezing. We didn't have a hard freeze at all, like, even for a day or two. And, so there's like 2 or 3 days we went out and just tossed sheets over everything and pulled them off. And that's all we had. I mean, it doesn't seem like we have much of a winter down here.
Yeah, like I say, I was born and raised in Jacksonville down there. And the only time that Jacksonville actually got snowed out, I was at her sister's house in Georgia.
Okay.
So I missed the whole event. Was you there when it snowed?
No, there about 3 or 4 years ago, it kind of snowed a little, like flurries, but it didn't stick on the ground, and that's all we've ever seen here. So, but I was up in Georgia for about 14 years. Once every 2 or 3 or 4 years or something, you'd have a little bit of snow, sticking on the ground and that. But nothing here in Jacksonville in past 15 years.
Yeah, I've been here in North Carolina now for 28 years. So,
okay.
That'd been 30-something years ago when that happened. Actually, it shut Jacksonville Slam down because it was big snow there.
Wow.
The automatic system, yeah, I would love to have one. But again, I got 3 different ways I'm growing in here, and you'd have to have 3 on this one and 1 on the other one. Them are quite expensive. I've looked at some of the ones just strictly for the pH that you're asking about.
They're called auto dosing.
Yeah. They start at $250.
Yeah. And that comes in. Then we're talking about a small system too. You got to kind of weigh, how much, unless you just love just having your own vegetables and that, you got to weigh how much you're going to actually put into the system and, how long these things last. But I mean, they get sophisticated, but it tends to get a little expensive.
It gets to be a little bit of a job, but I mean, gardening is my passion. I've been gardening for, I don't want to tell my age, but I've been gardening for over 50 years now. But just keeping things running in here smoothly, it's not really that bad. I work a full-time job, so I'm out here at 5:30 in the morning. The pump's going to come on at 6 a.m., so I'm checking that to make sure that tank's ready to go.
Yeah.
Today at 12 o'clock noon, I know it's hot in here and ain't nothing I can do about it. But as you see behind me, these things are producing like crazy, so they're not disliking it at all so far. And again, we done been in 100 degrees up there, so they're hanging in there. And then as soon as I get home, I get off at 5 o'clock, and I'm home by 5:30. Boom, I'm out here with that ice bucket, checking everything out, making sure she's ready to go. I'll pH adjust before the run, but I will not ppm adjust the run. I wait till that last run at night after 6 o'clock. Once that thing is done, that way everything settles down, gets strained back. Then I do a final check on my pH and ppm, and I adjust to what it needs to be. That way I can sit there and bubble this water out of my fresh water tank and the nutrient tank. I'm on county water, so again, that you got chlorine and all that crap in your water. I want that air stones. I got big air stones in there that actually just boil that water up and get that stuff out overnight. So it at least gives it 11 hours of aerating before that pump's going to come back on. But when that pump does come back on at 6 a.m., I want to make sure that first morning drink is good and cool and where it needs to be. Because again, at 12 o'clock, it's going to get hot, and that drink for that part of the day is just going to be hot.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing I can do. I've had that greenhouse, the tomato house, going for 5 years now over there, and I don't have issues with it. But that one gets more shade. Like right now, that whole greenhouse has been in shade for 7/19. That one's been in shade since about 6 o'clock over there. So it don't take the brutal beating that this one here will. That's why I made this one pepper house. Everybody knows peppers love hot. They love sunshine. They love heat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my tomatoes that were out in the yard. I've got a little shade house, but those were suffering in that. But I got a couple of pepper plants that were like just going crazy.
George, I have come home and seen the water temperature, especially on the RDWC. Again, that pump's running 24/7. It's a little small pump. It's just a little dinky pump. But even with that pump I've seen 92 degrees in that tank, and there's still this whole middle row behind. You see the monsters in that middle right there. That's the sugar rushes, and they're handling that temperature. Again, I throw a gallon block of ice in that tank as well, and right there on that evening, that way to bring it, get it off that 90 degrees as fast as I can, give them a good cool evening drink. That 1 gallon block of nutrient ice would drop that 90 degrees down to 78, so they get a good cool drink at night. But during the day, they just have to fight it out. Yeah, you need to really try to stay away from the 85 degree temp, 85, 90 if possible. If I was retired, when I do retire, I'll be able to do a little bit better of keeping things going on. I'd be able to put an ice block in there in the middle of the day. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but we're only talking about a gallon bucket. You know what I mean? It ain't like you going out of your way to really try to help these plants and outweigh the cost of what the chillers and all would be and the electricity that they're going to run. I'm cheap, simple, and easy is my 3 ways of gardening. I preach that a lot in all my videos. We try to teach people how to be sufficient and grow their own stuff the cheapest and easiest way possible. And when you get over this hydroponics, people get, oh, it's so confusing, so confusing. No, it's not. It's really, let me tell you, everybody out there, I want to say this, I should have said this right off the bat. Mike is the best teacher. I swanted that man is the brains of this operation. If you can't learn how to operate a simple, I'm talking about simple, cracky hydroponics, then you need to just not garden, because Mike is the man. He cannot break it down no more simpler than what he does. When you step over to my side where you're dealing with the higher nutrients and trying to get this stuff going, it gets a little complicated, but the thing about my videos is I'm specifically showing you how to do it. You can skip all the other, just go by what I'm saying, and it works for me. And all I can do is hope it would work for you.
Cool. Appreciate that, CB.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back for you.
No, you too. But that's like I said, I like to show people there's a little bit of where when people used to, when I first started looking up hydroponics, you look up all these videos and they have, just tons of videos and tons of information. And some people get overwhelmed. And I tried to do it like easy to start with. And I was trying to bridge that gap so that more people would get involved. And then after they get to experimenting a little bit and get used to it, then they kind of step up to like what you're doing and like Marty and Pepe, and start stepping up. But I wanted to kind of catch those people who were like discouraged right off the bat, because it's, if you ever walk in a hydroponic shop and say you want to start, growing, they're going to load you up with, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 worth of stuff and give you all kind of information and blow your mind. So I kind of wanted to get just nice and easy and get people used to it, get their hands a little dirty. And then after a year or two, then they can kind of step up, get a little bigger setup and grow some stuff like what you got behind you there.
Well, you're the man. I'm telling you, it don't get no simpler than that. When I found your channel, I was like, holy moly, look at here. You're just a down-to-earth type of guy, and you can't make it no more simple than what you're doing. And Cracky is, I usually have lettuce growing. I'm growing lettuce in 100-degree weather out here. But in Cracky system, just to show that it would work. Of course, it's in the shade and all when I was doing it. But I have videos on that showing that, yes, you can. You can grow lettuce in 100-degree weather.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's just like you say, you've got your tomatoes going too. I was surprised, my tomatoes were still, blooming and they were still setting fruit. But the ones that were in the ground and that were just like toast when I came home. Right.
Yep. That's the main thing. That's what hit us, stunted a lot of my outside plants, was that 100 degrees in May. We had 3 days of hundreds and we had 2 weeks up in 90 to 95. It's hard for fruit to set on in that kind of temp.
Yeah.
It's something, when you see the Renee's garden update tomorrow, do you remember that last one where she said I shaved the plant's legs?
Yeah.
I scalped it this weekend.
Scalp. Did you? Yeah.
There's sunburn. It's just, I built them top racks over them straw bales out there. Eventually I will put shade cloth where I'm taking on and off the top banisters out there. But until now, they just got to keep on going what they are.
I'm hoping we
pounds. Our goal every year, our goal is to make sure we hit 600 pounds of tomatoes between the greenhouse and outside.
Wow.
A couple of years ago, we hit 813 pounds. That was a record for us.
Nice.
And all that will be in my video tomorrow too. If anybody wants to get in that contest, every year we have a contest. Whoever guesses the closest to the weight at the end of the year without going over will win a jar of her salsa. And this year said she's going to give a jar of her bread and butter pickles away too.
Oh wow, that's I like that. Well, CB's link to his channel's down in the description, so y'all head on over to his channel and check out. You said it's dropping tomorrow?
Yeah, every Monday is the straw bale garden update with Renee.
There you go.
Every Thursday is Hydroponic Thursday.
Hydroponic Thursday. Let's see.
Revenue? No, I do not. I've been doing YouTube now for, this is going on the 5th year. This is my 2nd channel. I had another channel way before I started this one, but we'll just stick with this one. I've been doing this 5 years over here. I've been monetized on the thing for about a year now, and I finally made my first $100 in a year. So no way, shape, or form is YouTube able to compensate anything in here.
Well, I don't know if he was asking, maybe was it just like ad revenue, or was he talking about that maybe do you sell any of your produce? Or
yes, all of our produce, whatever Renee does not put up in can or freeze or whatever, the rest of the stuff goes to where I work at, and we just set up a table out there and people buy everything I sell. Anything I grow, they want it. They've been begging me for months already, and our tomatoes just now getting red. So they're snatching this. They're calling the shop saying, "You got them, hold them for me. I'm on my way." Yeah, they love our tomatoes. We try to stay. We're not organic gardeners, but we try to stay away from the bad chemicals if possible, unless we really get a bad bug problem outside. And I will move in and use some of that 8 dust, which I show in a lot of my videos, all the stuff that I do use.
Yeah. Now I saw, I just saw Marty was in the chat. He said he's going to get him a cup of coffee. He's going to pop in here with us.
Yes, I have seen the comfrey blocks that I actually carry over there. UK makes its own comfrey tea, and he makes his own. He's got like 3 or 4 different nutrients that nettle teas and stuff. He makes all the stuff himself. Yeah, I'm very aware of the nettle and the comfrey.
Cool. Let me say, hey, let's see, Marty's going to be jumping in here. Donna just popped in too. Want to say hello to Donna.
Hey, Donna.
And little AH senior.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, I'm not seeing the chat because I'm out here on the Wi-Fi and the signal's real weak, so I dropped the chat off so I can stay in here with a better video. It was being too job, so I'm not being able to see y'all's chat. That's why Mike's putting the chat up for me on any questions here.
Yeah, so he can't see that, so I'm just popping them in here. And if anybody wants to pop in the chat with us too and ask him personally, I just dropped the link in the chat. All you got to do is click on there, and you can just pop in here live with us too.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody knew I wasn't ignoring them. I just can't see their chat to answer them, whatever. So, hey, everybody. Hey, Mike's keeping me up to date here. What's going on?
Yeah, CB can't see the chat, so. And if I miss them too, I'm not ignoring you. I am a little slow. Black totes with yellow lids. Yeah, the black totes with the yellow lids, I'm using one of those right now too. Actually, I have a small NFT system, and I just used one of those. I think it was only like $12 or something at Home Depot. 12 gallon. I think it was 16 gallons. But yeah, so this heat's just we're not expecting this kind of stuff until at least another month. And when spring hits, that's when everybody gets all excited and we get our gardens going, and we have a couple of months of just like pleasant weather to grow. But it was like, it seemed like it was a couple of weeks in and already we're hitting 100 degrees. And just hopefully we'll have a little mild summer here that we can keep growing. I hope it doesn't just keep dragging on, because we went up to 95 again today. You said it was 93 over there, right?
Right.
So
yeah, tomorrow's going to be 97.
97. Yeah, it's brutal.
No rain in sight.
Oop, got a subscriber there, CB. It's going to check it out.
Hey, appreciate it, Alvin. We welcome anybody over there. We love to try to help anybody we can, but again, I'm no expert at nothing, guys. I really am not. I know what works for me, and I can show you how I do it and what I do. And all I can do is hope and pray it works for you.
That's cool. Looking behind you, though, it looks like you're an expert.
Everybody keeps calling me expert, but I ain't. I've been doing hydroponics for, oh man, I want to say probably 35 years now.
Wow. So
we was talking about a cooler. Do you remember back in the day, the old chest freezers that was all metal?
Yeah.
And when I lived in Florida, I had one of them old timey freezers like that, all steel inside. There wasn't no plastic to it. You remember that? Them type?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I used one of them for a chiller, and it absolutely worked perfect. I was able to use that tank as my nutrient tank and pump out of it, and it worked perfectly. Run the light bill up, but back then, that many years ago, the light bills wasn't what they are today.
Yeah. Now, right now, do you have? I was watching yours. Are all of your tanks, or you have one of your nutrient tanks like buried?
Yep.
Right up to the top. That helps insulate it too, and instead of it just sitting out in the
absolutely
temperature.
And actually, on this year in that series of videos of putting this pepper house together, I actually done a strict video showing you dug a hole and put a 30-gallon tote in the ground. That was the whole video, just showing how to put the tank in the ground. But the RDWC behind me and these DWCs, I mean, they suffer. Now, these DWCs, I can't do anything to cool them down. If you watch my past video, my last Thursday's video, I done a comparison between these Tequila Sunrises sitting here beside me. These 3 and the Dutch buckets are Tequila Sunrise, and the 3 in these DWC are Tequila Sunrise. And tell you the truth, overall, the Dutch bucket's kicking their butt, but not by a long shot. You just have to understand these DWC sitting out here in this hot temperature, not getting any coolness to them at all, and they are at the. I don't know. Can you see this plant?
Uh-huh.
That plant is absolutely loaded with seed peppers. I can't move my camera because I got it strapped to the wall up there.
Yeah.
These little babies are slam full of peppers, and so are these. But these are probably, I would say, a half foot taller than what the DWC is. So I've done that for a learning thing this year to show people what's the difference between DWC and the Dutch bucket growth. And of course, I'm sure everybody knows the only difference between DWC and cracky is you're adding an air stone. That's it.
Yep.
Turn cracky over to air stone, and that's what these three are. The air stone absolutely is helping them maintain this kind of heat out here.
Right. And that's what I tell a lot of people, because I get a lot of questions, because when you look up anything like the hydroponics, they're always talking about aeration and circulation and like the cracky system, there isn't any. And they always ask about that. And I said, now, if you can, it's always better. There's always things you can do better. We're starting at the very basic, simplest way to start growing anything. But if you can put an air stone in there, if you can get some aeration, that's better. If you can do like an NFT too and run it, check your ppms and your pH, anything that they're doing in traditional hydroponics, that's all good. So it's not that I'm saying like you don't need to do any of that. We're starting at the basics. So if you can get air into it and do a DWC, it definitely works better.
But see, the thing about thank you, BD. Appreciate that.
Got another one there too, Evelyn.
Thank you, Evelyn. Cracky absolutely works marvelous. It really does for what you're doing. I've run it for many years, but the only thing I'm showing is, like you're saying, you throw air stone in there, you're just making it a little bit better. You're trying to help the plants breathe a little bit better. I bet you up north, people in cracky systems probably kick our butts down here in all kind of heat.
Yeah.
I bet you they can take the same plant you're growing over there in their cooler weather and absolutely probably 2 times the size.
Oh, yeah.
The heat means a whole lot. The heat's what controls your pH.
Yep.
When it gets hot, that pH gets crazy.
And that's another thing I do. Like you have a couple of, how many, do you know right offhand, how many total things that you check your pH and your ppm, how many tanks you check every night?
2 in this one and 1 in the tomato house.
And see, that's why, like, I'm starting, we have several, all of our cracking containers aren't together. They're all separate. So
Right.
If I was checking pH and everything, I have like 30 different containers going right now. So
my DWC here is more or less the cracky, because I don't adjust the pH or nothing on that one until every 30 days. All these tanks, all of them get dumped. I'm a firm believer in that. Get the old nutrients out of there, clean that tank out. I got a shot back. It's called a bucket head that I vacuum out, wipe these tanks down, and every 30 days they absolutely get brand new nutrients all the way around, DWC and all. But during the time between them 30 days, the DWC, when they start sucking some juice up, the way they get things fresh is I'll go take a 5-gallon bucket and make a 5-gallon nutrient up fresh, and then I feed it to them to bring the water level back up in them. So that's the only time that they're actually getting the correct pH, the correct ppm. And I lifted the tank. I got tubes on the side that I can just get me a little test out of it in my test jug. And actually, 6.5 is about the highest I've seen the pH get up on it. But they actually hold their ppm really well to be a DWC. And so a cracky's going to do the same thing. But the thing about the air stone's mixing that water up for you too. So it's kind of churning the water for you.
Yeah.
To help keep it mixed together and all. I have seen in some of my cracky system when I was done that I had a lot of nutrient laying on the bottom of the tote there, because there was nothing to soak it up, boil it around with. With lettuce, bam, 30 days you got lettuce. start to end, 30 days, you got nice lettuce. So it really doesn't, you don't have to deal with it like I'm dealing with these peppers right here. Now, this is the long haul for these peppers. It ain't no 30-day deal. But, yeah, it's a little more difficult to work with.
Yeah.
Have you used any air diffusers? No. No, I don't. I just use the 4-inch tubing.
Just the tubing and the air stones.
And the air stone, yeah. Now, the Dutch bucket over has a big long air stone in the reservoir in the ground, and my fresh water tank has an air stone in that. And I show that in my videos too. Every day, we're talking about heat. Every day when I get home, I have a 20-gallon trash can over there that I have for my fresh water tank. Every afternoon, I fill that up, pH it down, get it all settled down and everything, check it again the next morning, go to work. When I get home, that 15 gallons of water is gone. A lot of people may not understand, plants take what they want. They can spit that nutrient, just ignore that nutrient altogether. They want water in this heat, and they will absolutely suck pure water and leave that nutrient. You know, that is the part people ask me a lot of times, why do I have a freshwater tank? Is to keep that ppm in check. It absolutely works. If you keep a freshwater tank on top of it, just keep it pH down, don't mix no nutrient in it, straight water, pH water down, and let it feed into it. And then plants will absolutely take that water and leave the nutrient. They'll take what nutrient they want and keep on trucking. So every afternoon, I'm putting 15 more gallons of fresh water in that tank every day on both greenhouses.
Cool. And Sean asks, have you ever used compost tea in hydroponics over the years?
Yes, I have. Many years ago, I just didn't care for it. I make a nutrient myself. I've been using a nutrient that I blended myself, which I can't go into details about it because I had a contract bought out for it, and it's for something totally different. It's not even on the market. I've done something personally for a friend of mine, and you know how friends get you, right? But
yeah,
he run with my idea and took off, and I have a signed statement that I can't share that part. So people ask me, they've been asking me for about 3 years now to try some of this master blend to see what the whole hype about this master blend is. Master blend has been around a while. And the way you guys mix it up, doing it with the grams and all that, that's perfect. It works really, really well. And I'm not knocking that one bit. But I do see where your plants can be. Look behind me. You know what I'm saying? Look at their systems that they've been running for years. Look at mine. If you go back to one of their videos and you see plants looking like mine, then they are not showing you what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're showing you that first kickoff, how to set it up, and they left you in the dark right there.
Yeah.
Plants cannot, absolutely no way in the world, grow for 60 days or more, without being brought, the ppms brought back up to them. They'll just be, and I have seen a lot of them look, they're pretty scrawny plants. Their tomato plants may be 20 foot tall, but they're the size of my finger.
Yep.
You see my plants.
Oh yeah.
The tomato plants, we're talking about, stalks on them babies.
Yeah. Yeah, they get thick. And we saw your tomatoes you had last week.
Now this Thursday, for Hydroponics Thursday, I'm absolutely going to throw a monkey wrench up in this master blend deal. I'm going to share something with y'all that the experts just don't want you to know.
Cool.
I'm gonna absolutely show you what I do once these plants get the fruiting up real heavy. They're getting ready to set that fruit and start turning red. I changed the whole ball game up. I still use the master blend. So I ain't gonna get into big detail because I want everybody to see this Thursday. It's gonna be a very, very important.
Yeah, y'all watch it Thursday.
I've never spoke of it before. I've just had several people ask me to do this. I've never shown, never talked about it. But I'm going to show it one time. And I stayed in that video. This will be the first and only time you'll see me talk and do this for you. But I just want people to understand how we get plants to go like we do.
Well, cool. I'd be real interested in seeing that. I get a ton of questions about that. And, so that's cool. I'll be tuning in Thursday.
Well, if you paid attention when I started off, when I was asked to do the master year, I stated in it that there's 2 things that I do later into the year that I would share. So I keep my promise. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm a man of my word. And I absolutely, it's coming out Thursday. So y'all be ready for he done what?
Cool. Hey, I'm gonna pop Marty in here real quick, okay?
All right, come on.
And then I'll pop a couple of comments up there, but I think that where he comes on. Hey there, Marty, how are you doing?
Marty, my man.
Let's see, you're muted. Let me see if that works. You have to unmute your there you go.
Yeah. The reason why I had it on mute was because I can't run off with the headphones with a little iPad this morning to school and running to work and everything. I just forgot to because you can see a whole lot of bag of stuff behind me on the bed there, on the day bed. That's I was searching for headphones.
Cool.
Digging in.
I just the only thing with this setup, Marty, this is a little different than the Google Hangouts.
Right.
But if I pop, let me see if I can switch this around. I can do like that. If I pop a comment up, if you're down here, it's going to come, pop right across your face. So now I'm not being rude or anything, but sometimes if CB can't see the chat because he's just on StreamYard, and I don't know if you are too.
Yeah, I didn't want to have the reverb going through. Good to see you, CB. And thanks for having me in, Mike.
Hey, no problem. Always a pleasure. But so if anybody in chat has any questions in that for Marty or CB, pop them up there. I'll put a little link in here too. If you guys want to just pop in here and say hey to them and ask them a question, feel free to do so. Here's that.
Or if you, a mess, but well, might as well. Look at that. It's terrible.
Oh, that's fine. We're informal, Marty.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like having a mess in front of me camera. I've just because I used to be really messy when I used to do it before, and I'm never doing that again. So it's all.
I have a big mess behind me too.
It's all in my face now,
But that's the mess that you want.
Yeah,
that's the mess that you want.
It's a beauty.
Hey, I see your stuff, Mr. Marty. You're a heck of a gardener over about. Hats off to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool. So most people in the chat know Marty. I've had him on here before. Y'all probably already subscribed to his channel. But Marty, you want to just tell them like the real quick elevator pitch about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, my name's Marty Ware. I'm Australian agricultural horticulturist. I'm a small space vegetable gardener. I live in the countryside, but I live in a tiny little house, little backyard, and grow as much food as I can in a small space. Agricultural background with organics and things. And I'm moving, I've always been moving in the direction of sustainability and teaching people how to grow food in small spaces in many different ways. But basically, I sort of follow the worm farming format to make our nutrient and make the fertilizer with compost and things, and then turn them into beautiful edible foods as quickly as possible. That's the other thing too. Easy, quickly as possible. I don't know if that's a short tagline, but yeah, that's what I do. And at the moment now I'm creating courses for people to follow those systems quite easily. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm up to.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. And so you're on the other side of the world, are you? So you guys, are you like the end of fall, maybe slipping into winter now, or?
Yeah, it's winter. We're 1 month in. I live on the subtropics, so a little bit similar to you, Mike, but maybe just a little bit further down. So it's not too different to your climate. It's just a little bit cooler.
Okay.
But Australia's huge, so we've got everything from snow to the tropics, and I'm sort of in the middle on the east coast. So smack bang in the middle, pretty good climate year round, but it's cold, it's winter, and I'm still able to grow plants. But I've been working out in the rain this morning, and I just got home.
Oh, did you? And how was your summer this time? Was it hotter than normal? Like we're just starting summer. It was already up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Did y'all have a mild summer? Or?
I would say it's brutal, and being in like agriculture for many years now, I not only study like what's going on in Australia, but what's going on around the globe because it really interests me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've had some videos out about this type of thing, about like the risk management around heat wave gardening and stuff like that, and putting out posts here and there to help people with it. Because it's becoming a problem, and people need to face up to that. We need to find new management techniques to keep our plants growing, year round, depending on our climate, but to really focus on those hot weather times, because as you know, Mike, they can knock out plants in a day. You put all that work in, you've gone out for the work for the day or whatever, and bang, you come back and they're just fried,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little disheartening. Oh, we got a guest in here. Here, let me pop this up. Let's try this. Nope. Let's try. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Hello, how are you doing?
Here's Miss Renee.
Miss Renee.
Hi.
Hi. You look up at the camera. There you go. We saw you go.
I hope y'all have a good evening. I'm fixing to go in and call it a night and go cook supper.
She's been out picking the garbage. She got her apron on and been picking some more stuff.
Oh yeah, and planting.
Awesome. Well, we love what you do over there.
What did you plant?
More peas.
Uh-oh.
More
And I
people.
made 16 quarts of bread and butter pickles this morning before church. So I'm tired.
Yes, you've been rolling since about 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. Thanks to Miss Olivia.
So you're planting peas right now?
The purple hull.
Okay.
Mississippi purple.
Field peas.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like sweet peas and everything, or snap peas. Is it a little bit warm for that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's way too hot for that.
Yeah.
She'll plant some more of them for the fall.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I get mine going too. It's just this. I'm just a little disheartened, like Marty said, that this kind of heat and CB, that it's, if you're not prepared for something, you can come home and like in one day, you can, all your plants can be toast or whatever. But yeah,
And crying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Y'all have a good evening. I'm going to go cook.
Bye. We'll see you later.
Bye. Have a good week.
Off to church, eh?
Yeah, and a little cooking too. Let's see. Hold on, my first time here. I grow master blend Epsom salt, calcium, and nitrate. That's basically what we use. Now, Marty, you're doing vermiculture.
Permaculture.
And
yeah, well, some people, if you want to go into that, like I heard CB when I come in, I was getting ready prepared and talking about using the compost tea and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people try over the years to use it like hydroponics, but it doesn't work. It's a totally different thing. It needs to really be in the soil and sprayed on the plants. I think that if you're using it in a hydroponic, this is only from my experience. I'm not saying it can't be done because I know there's people trying it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would work quite well, like a worm tea sprayed onto the leaves of the plants to help the biology that's actually living on the leaves. We forget about this a lot. And I think that, like what happens is if you've got a really good, say when you get a proper worm tea made from castings as of such, right? And you oxygenate it or whether you oxygenate, it doesn't matter. There's still going to be microbes in there. And if you've got a bad balance of bacteria on your leaves, what happens is when you spray it with the good bacteria, that overrides and overpopulates the bad bacteria. And that could work really well. I don't know, CB might have tried that because he's been doing this forever. So, that's probably my advice towards hydroponic guys. If you had a little worm farm, you don't need a lot of castings to make a lot of that worm tea. not so much put it into the nutrient thing, but spray it on your plants in the evening, in the morning. And even in this hot weather, this is a really good tip because it goes back to what we're talking about before. And they do this in the desert a lot, in all places around the world. They have little spray systems that just go psh, and it just wets the leaves because it's a transpiration rate. So if you've got something in there, like the biodynamic guys do this, they'll spray that biology onto the leaves. They'll even like mix water crystals into that mix so that the plants photosynthesize better. But, you know, keeping the biology alive on the leaf is going to stop a lot of problems with fungal things and things like that. And a lot of guys are really into growing, you know, like the mono straight lines, especially when you're going in, you're scaling up and you want to do a big crop of tomatoes or something like that. You could have a problem with airflow and things inside. And then you'll get, and I'm sure CB would have something to add to this, and maybe even yourself, Mike, but the airflow is really important with fungal problems. And if you could spray something on there that stops that fungal domination, but still allowing the airflow and getting the nutrients into the leaves, because the leaves suck up nutrient, I think it's a good way to go, myself personally.
Airflow is a must-have. Absolutely. And you'll see Hydroponic Thursday coming up. There's something in this video right there that I'm showing what I spray my plants down with. Everybody understand that when you go to spraying your plants down, do not do it during the daytime. I always do mine at late in the evening. That way it gives that plant all night long to try to air and dry out so the sun doesn't cook. You spray chemical stuff on your plants, especially kind of oils or anything, you're going to burn the plants up. You do it during the daylight, the heat of the day, it'll mess the plants up. So do it at night.
So there's a difference between spraying, say, a worm casting and then say like a hydroponic solution, because they're salts, right? So you don't want to spray them on because it'll burn your leaves, huh? Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Let me get a question here for CB. Let me pop us in here. Let me see if you're in the middle there, CB. I don't know if that worked, but it still covers our face. We have to look up. It says, what's your view on using very low doses citric acid as pH down alternative?
It works really well. Lemon juice, it just don't keep it stable. It will not hold. It does not hold long enough.
That's a good point, because that's what a lot of people, I think, with the beginners stuff, you know, especially like what I'm doing, people are saying, well, instead of buying all of that, can I just use like lemon juice and baking soda or something? But like you said, it, you know, doesn't hold like the pH down.
It don't. It'll bring it down for your check, but you come back in 3-4 hours, it's already starting to climb back up. But, you know, you'd have to be using a whole bunch of lemon juice to keep it down. This general hydroponics pH up and down is cheap by the gallon. I mean, I just use that. Yeah.
And Marty Donna said she just subscribed to your channel. Looking forward to see what you got going on.
Hey, thanks, Donna. Yeah, I'm a bit slow in there at the moment. There's, you know, there's 450 videos or something in there. Probably the last few years are my best ones. Before that, you know, as you know, it's just plug away trying to learn how to make these videos and get them right. But you know, I think even in some of the bad productions, which I look back, there's still good tips and things like that. But I may be still a bit quiet for a week or two while I'm producing these, putting these video courses together and the coaching inside. So I'm really taking the community into a different format, so to speak. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy the next videos when they do come out. They'll be very storylined, I believe, and more about what's going on behind here as I produce I'm moving into sort of a more, permaculture has become a bit of a trendy word these days. I've always had what would be regarded as a permaculture garden, but I never used that terminology because we were sort of into organics before that, you know, and about the sustainability and getting the insects in and, you know, getting, you know, the lizards and the birds and all that cool stuff, which I find really fun. And So yeah, the videos will be a lot of just rebuilds on my small space there, because it's just coming into 2 years old now, and it's starting to function great, because everything's been built on the ground on sand, so it's just pure crappy sand that has been building on top slowly, and we're starting to get some success now. We've been getting success the whole time, but it's just slowly, like anything, the more you add to it. And so hopefully you'll enjoy those videos. Sorry, I don't mean to rave on there when they come out.
Yeah, and if anybody, Marty, his last couple of years, those videos are good in that too. But I've been watching Marty since like probably 6 or 7 years when I first started trying to learn. And I saw Marty out there when you were doing like microgreens.
Yeah,
your little setup. You're one of the first people I was watching all those years ago. So he's got tons of knowledge, even if you go back through his old videos and that. It's he's been around a while, and he's one that kind of taught me a lot of the stuff that I was doing, and and I just kind of tweaked it a little bit.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, don't let Marty fool you. He knows his stuff now.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate. Cheers to you, brother, and you too. Look at what's growing on behind him there.
Yeah.
Go and do a happy dance in the back. Go, yeah, in the garden.
Mike, I want to touch base one more thing on that pH, because I know the question's probably going to come across. And
Yeah.
People start using battery acid to bring their pH down with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to the parts store buying battery acid.
Ooh.
Is that what somebody asked too? What about phosphoric acid?
Be very, very, I can't watch it. Be careful. Just watch it. You're dealing with battery acid. Everybody knows what battery acid will do. It'll eat a hole through you.
Oh, that's
It'll
terrible.
bring the pH down. Yes, sir. It'll bring that pH down, and actually, it'll stabilize that pH. But
Can I add something to that?
you mess up a battery acid, now you got a bad day coming.
Yeah. That's.
Can I add something to that?
After a while of running battery acid to keep the pH in check, now you start seeing your little rubber hoses getting soft and eating away at your pump and your plastic. You're using battery acid. So yeah, be careful if y'all want to use it. No, I buy General Hydroponics pH up and down. Safest way, I do not use battery acid.
Wow.
Just be
I
careful.
don't like messing with the battery acid with the car.
Exactly.
Much less to put in my garden.
I knew that question was going to pop up.
It bothers me why people want to go out when these companies are spending millions of dollars on getting this right, and then people want to go out and do all these other little things like add battery acid and stuff like that, because they just want to do the tests, and they sort of want to be like just trial things and all that. But really, when it comes down to it, just use what they're selling there that's cheap and it's going to be do the job.
Right. Exactly.
And go and do something else, like some other cool trial, like a different plant, do some crossbreeding or do some different types of cuttings, or try and grow something in a different type of temperature, or bring a new plant in from a different climate. So many things we can do. I just tell people, don't mess around with that stuff. You're wasting your time. You really are. I know it probably offends people saying that, but I just try to.
BD Beats in the chat said, I've never used any of that stuff, just heard it floating around. We weren't saying you were using it, BD. CB just said that he's heard of people doing that. We weren't saying that you were actually doing it yourself. Let's see. And also, Marty, I'm going to come up across your face again here.
No worries.
A long comment. Marty, just subscribed. Also, I'm learning about worm castings, tea, vermicompost for my new raised beds. Looking forward to your videos. South Florida, hot and humid. Yep. I can attest to that. I'm in North Florida, and it's just crazy hot and like a sauna, like almost every day.
Send some of your heat over this way. We'll go about half of it.
All right. Yeah.
My tomatoes are just starting to suffer now. It's getting a bit cold.
Are they? Yeah. Let's see. Now that's crazy. Anybody else here? Yeah, who wants battery acid on their food?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's lots of people using it. They really are. That's something that's been out for a few years now, and you're very experienced people are using that battery acid.
Wow.
Yeah.
again, and there's a lot of people ask me about like just the master blend, like I'm using that, and can I switch this or change this? And they're trying to, and I'm like, like Marty said, there's big companies spending millions of dollars doing all the tests and getting everything just right. And the easiest thing to do, unless you really get into it and you can adjust it a little, or, that I use it like what the manufacturer says, to use. And, they paid a lot of people and spent a lot of money testing it. And, if I think I'm just going to all of a sudden, double up on my nitrogen or something, and, I don't get into all that. I just kind of follow what they tell me to do.
People love doing it. Even like I remember I was brewing beer. My mates used to add more sugar and blow up their bottles, You'd have a glass of beer or whatever, and all the bubbles are going up your nose. You're going, "You making champagne? What are you doing?" Try my beer. And I just follow the recipe. Comes out, like as long as the temperature is right and everything, the beer was coming out fine. But, they just can't help themselves. And you can't blame them because we've got that experimental thing in us, don't we? Try to make it better.
Yeah.
But you have to fall back to the old saying, you don't go reinventing the wheel.
Yep, exactly. Now the stuff with the
fine tune it. I think that's there's a little bit difference there.
Let's
I
see.
took chemistry in school, is why I got into all this stuff to start with.
Did you? Let's see. George asked, would pH down that you use in fish tanks be okay to use?
Yeah, it ain't as strong as the general hydroponics, but yeah, it works good.
Cool.
Just remember, when you're buying this type of stuff, like Marty just said, and Mike said, these companies spend a lot of time for the hydroponic side of the grow here, of making that solution where it's going to stabilize for you a whole lot better. Aquarium is going to be a lighter dose because, you're dealing with live fish in there, so it's not going to be as potent. So
right.
You have to check your pH more. Just keep track of it. But yes, it will work.
Yeah. And one thing I like about it, like the master blend, is not like Miracle Grow. They have like the little aero garden, that's meant for like hobbyists.
Right.
The Miracle Grow is actually made for commercial greenhouses, and the ones where you see hundreds of thousands of heads of lettuce and that. And, that, like you said, so they put the time and effort into researching and getting stuff right. And it's not, if you try to mess with it too much, it's fun. Like Marty said, it's a little fun and everything. Or if you're trying organic stuff and you want to try a little compost tea and experiment with that. But I do it with like small containers at a time and I wouldn't like try to do something completely different and fill up all my containers with it or anything. Or like CB, you got that tank that's, controlling half your greenhouse there. I'm sure you wouldn't want to experiment with all your peppers.
No, not at this point in the game.
You got it right. Just don't play with it too much, eh? I got a good little tip for your crew, Mike. That the older crew that were watching the microgreen videos, and I've done this over the years as well because I use the liquid coming out of the worm farm. Is like with those little microgreen systems that you've got with the nutrient down below or the water down below, just doing it with water. But if you do it about 10-1 with a worm tea or a worm liquid coming out of the farm, and you shake it up every now and again and keep that oxygen in there, that actually will feed the plants as well. And that's another way people could do it and use that way that you've been teaching it.
Awesome. I'll give that a try. Now, if there's no one around here, if I don't have, we don't have a worm pile or anything yet, but is just the worm castings that you get at the nursery and that all right to do? You have to do something else? Should I add something like compost to it or just to make tea?
Just get like a handful of castings, put it in a sock, put it in the container, and just stir it up. So it's just, it's there. The water starts going like a liquid light tea brown, and just start using that. The thing is with the oxygen is it just keeps the microbes alive in there longer. Right. So you shake it up more and just, creates that biology to keep them alive. People put sugar in and all different types of things. That's, you really don't need to go to that extreme unless you're really into it and you want to make a real, like a biology live thing going on where you're going to be feeding and growing huge pumpkins and, you're just growing for massive growth and stuff like that. I'm a bit lazy. I very rarely make those teas like that. I just do it. But I think that'd be a good way. Just the reason why I mentioned it, I think it'd just be a good way for your crew to just see how it goes. It's just another thing to play with that's cheap and easy to do, you know. And I'm into the cheap and easy to do thing. That's, you know, it's the KISS method of keep it simple, stupid.
Right. Yeah, I've seen Brent, our other buddy, I've seen him doing the microgreens and saying, you know, that he puts a low dose of nutrients in and gets a higher yield. So we might give that a try. I got a couple questions here. Let's see. What's your favorite tomato varieties for hydroponics? I guess CB.
Favorite. Black Crim, Cherokee Purple. Of course, my Amanda Orange. It's almost like an Amanda Orange, but a buddy of mine up in Ohio crossbred some, made his own called Amanda Orange and named it after his wife.
Oh, cool.
I really love them. I'm trying out some jet setters this year. I don't like them at all. I'm not going to grow them anymore after this one's test run. Most of the tomatoes that you do that starts with a B, like Big Boy, Better Boy, all them,
right,
tends to have blossom end rot. So I try to stay away from any of the big tomatoes.
Yeah.
Can I ask CB a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How to help me, actually. I've been getting some, just recently, I was growing a few different types of cherry tomatoes. I've never had really many cross-pollinate, but I had one, they were pretty close together within about, maybe 2 to 3 feet, 2 different types of cherry tomatoes. And I collected seed from my tumbler because I like to grow small space plants that are, you know, productive and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I love this tumbler. I've been growing it before. And then I've come up across, these new seedlings have come up and I've got, I got my tumblers going, my winter tumblers. And I'm looking at it going, some of them that look like determinants. They're not indeterminates. They're growing long and lanky, and there's another one bushing out. And I thought maybe my seed got mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it didn't. So
It's
good chance they're that close, they cross-pollinated, right?
Yes, they will.
What's
If you're trying to save seeds, I only save seeds from, if I get brand new seed, I will save that seed for no more than 2 years. From after that, you're going to start seeing your plant saying, that ain't what I planted. Yeah. Or you're going to have a cherry tomato that's going to blow up like a black Crim or something, or look really funky tomato. Yeah, so 2 years is the most that I will save seed from my tomatoes. After that, I'm going to buy a brand new and start over. Yeah,
okay. That's a good advice. I've only noticed it happen a couple of times because I normally have quite a lot of distance, but this lot was closer, and I just wanted to sort of like just double check and see what you thought. But I'm just going to go back to just growing the one type of cherry tomato, the tumbler, for now, because they tumble over the pots, and they're quite quick. Even though, you know, some people might know what an indeterminate tomato is. They just grow they grow bushy generally for pots, and they only last 6 weeks, 3 months. They won't grow through the whole season, where the determinants, like probably what you're growing more so, right? Would that be right?
Mine's indeterminate.
Yeah. I mean, indeterminate, sorry, the longer ones that people want to stake up all the time. So
I don't do that drop and lean. People ask me that a lot. Why do I not do the drop and lean? Or I let them grow up halfway to the top of the greenhouse. I let them get about 5 clusters worth of tomatoes on that plant, and I just stop the plant. I just like indeterminate plants over the determinate plants. I don't want a big bushy fat plant like this.
Yeah,
Sugar Rush is behind. You know, I should have probably pruned that really well, but I didn't. I just want to say again, this is the first year I've grown these type of peppers. But I get asked that question all the time: how am I not getting cross pollination? Yeah. I get cross pollination. Okay. My plants put those together. I mean, you're going to get cross pollination. There's no way around it.
Yeah. Every now and again, you end up with a cool, funky plant though, like something cross pollinates. You go, that's unreal.
Or a really weird looking tomato,
a different color or different shape, or the plant. Like these ones that have cross pollinated between the determinants and the indeterminates, I've ended up with a semi-indeterminate plant. So it's not growing as long, and it seems as it's finishing earlier, but it's still getting that long stem, the growing stem, and it's not bushing out, you know, like and indeterminate. So I think both of them are good for small space, but I just love the idea. I love the idea of the but like just, the common name for them is the tumbler. I can't remember what the botanical name is for it, but you can hang them up, you can put them on stands, and they're a good all-rounder.
There's a good one about the cross-pollination. Y'all pay attention in my greenhouse back there this year. The ones that I called the baby orange tomatoes, they're like a cherry tomato. You get real small and they're orange color. And I got one of the plants that's put out. Their tomatoes are red on it. And I know it's the baby orange seed that I planted back there. That they're like 3 times bigger than what it's supposed to be, and it's just funky. So pay attention to that video. You'll see what me and Marty's talking about, that cross-pollination. There's some funny looking tomatoes back there. What they look like they're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's almost like you need a cross-pollination space if you want to play experiment. I know our other friend is into hydroponics. Brent, he does a lot of cross-pollinating and things and likes to design different stuff. He's right into that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Grafting plants and everything too.
Yeah.
But CB, you had some plants that were your tomatoes, those little pear-shaped ones. How did those come out? I grew some one year and I didn't really care for the taste or whatever. And I don't know if, and I never tried it again. That was like 1 year. Are they like sweet or?
Which ones? You talking to me, CB?
Or CB, he had some little pear, or do you grow those too, Marty?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the yellow pear this year. They're doing excellent. I mean, really, really well. I haven't grown them before. My neighbor across the street actually bought them seeds, told me to grow her some of them. So that's how we incorporated them into this year's grow. Absolutely doing good. Very little problems with it. And the taste of them, they're sweet. They're doing really well.
You have to give that another try. I had one in an NFT system and it just went crazy. It was like a tree and it had tons of little tomatoes, but I didn't really care for the taste, like some real sweet cherry tomatoes that you just pick them and eat them. These were like as ripe as I let them get. They're still like a little tart, but I want to give it another try because, like you said, there was just like loads of tomatoes that came off of that one.
I think the yellow round cherries, I find them a little bit sweeter. They don't have the acidity in them if people have got acidity problems from certain foods, and I found them quite nice. But again, I'm worried about the cross pollination, so I'm not going to grow them because I got such a small space.
Yeah,
I think they're a beauty. They're really I actually, if I was going to grow just one, I'd probably grow those yellow ones. They're like CV is saying, they're real tiny little ones. They're about I guess twice the size of a marble or something, 2.5 size of a marble, and they still got that sweetness. It's still sweet. Yeah.
Talking about the sweetness part of it, again, there's a little secret that's coming out Thursday on my video to show you what I do to absolutely change the taste of my tomatoes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We're gonna be tuning in. There's lots of people in the chat too, so that they're gonna check that out Thursday.
It's a simple little trick that, and a lot of the in-ground gardeners use it. Have been using it for years. I've been using it for years. It's amazing.
I'm not going to say no.
I'm sure Marty knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, well,
sounds great. Tune into that, guys. That's it really works.
Cool. Now Donna's in the chat too. I've been watching. She's been posting stuff and seeing little parts of her garden, and she's one of our little guests in that's got a lot of different things growing and really cool. So I say hey to Donna. And Janine, she's always showing up and hanging out. She said, let's see, sounds like a current tomato variety. So they're all talking about their tomatoes and that. Yeah, so mine, I'm just about finishing up with mine. Like I said, I tore down my NFT system. It's getting like really hot, so I figured lots of people were asking me about it. I just thought it might be time to take it down when it's like really hot like this and clean it up and reset it up and just do a little videos showing how to set it up. And I've got some tiny tomato plants. Maybe see if I can put those in there and keep them holding on through the heat. Maybe they'll flower during the fall, and if not, I'll just take cuttings off of those and keep growing them until we get some cooler weather.
Yeah, I generally do a few more tomato plants for the fall run too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get lucky and we make at least 3 clusters worth of ripening. Sometimes 2. Sometimes we get hit early in October and the freeze just knocks them slam out. But I mean, that's a gamble we have to take here. Sometimes in October you'll be in the 20s. Other times you won't hit until about halfway into December before you get really bad cold weather. So it's just a gamble we take here.
Yeah, this past winter, Christmas time, we're all still in shorts and that down here.
That's one good thing about indeterminates, though, is you can grow them late and early season because they produce much quicker.
Right.
So that's one reason why I like them. You know, partly what I'm into in the small space, you know, with the microgreens and different things, is getting food fast. And so, you know, and why I got the cross pollination this year is because I had the determinants growing and then the indeterminates. So the determinants first and then the indeterminates second. And when they cross pollinated, I got obviously that problem that we're talking about. But then you get 2 crops if you're in a small space garden. So, you know, like as soon as you feel it's getting warm, you know, you can get your seedlings up and you'll have fruit much quicker. And then the determinants come on later. And so you get rid of the indeterminates in a great world. You would get rid of the indeterminates so there's no cross-pollinating, you know, but sometimes we get lazy or we run out of time or we just downright forget.
Yeah.
But way to produce plants get fruit really quickly. You find them in the if you go to the nurseries and just look on the labels, potted tomatoes, generally they're the indeterminates.
Yeah. And that's what, like, if you're growing like this Kratky system, just getting it to grow fast, bloom, fruit, and then start over, it's the best way to go. If you're trying to do it, like you said, if you're growing where, you know, you're going to string them up and you're better to go with a Dutch bucket or, you know, some other way of growing or something if you're going to have a little bit of circulation like NFT or another way like that. Let's see. Let me see if somebody's got another question here. Let's see. Janine said, "You won't be disappointed. My husband asked what kind of sauce I put on." Oh, she's talking about she has Tasmanian chocolate tomatoes. All right.
Good.
You like that one? I haven't had that yet.
Jazzy chocolate tomatoes.
Yeah.
Never even heard of them, and I'm an Aussie.
Oh, really?
They have a chocolate pepper too, a Reaper
Yeah,
pepper.
I've heard of the chocolate pepper and I've heard of the chocolate tomato, but they must just good marketing thing. You just whack the Tassie on it. It sounds cool, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah. All about the
Probably someone bred them up there and made a quick change, and yeah, that's great.
Cool. So, CB, for the people who don't know you, there's a lot of people in the chat said they're going to go check your channel out, and right now they see a bunch of peppers behind you. But you just tell them you've got like another greenhouse going, or your maters, and then you've got straw bale. You want to kind of explain all what they're
I would say this is greenhouse number 2. This is the gourmet pepper house. Out back behind this greenhouse is what we grow at straw bales outside our sand here. I'm in the sand hills of North Carolina. Our very sandy soil, hard to grow anything in. So I've done straw bale garden for many years now. So all the hot peppers are out in the back of this greenhouse. In the front of it here, we got straw bales outside with all the squash plants in it. In fact, the video coming out tomorrow when Renee's doing her garden update for Monday, you'll see all these peppers tomorrow, inside and out. Greenhouse number 1 is strictly just tomatoes. I did put a few pepper plants in the pots in the middle down there this year because we just had so many, nowhere else to put them, so I stuck them down the middle. But that is mainly my tomato house. And everything outside is straw bales. We got cucumber wrap. It's all straw bales. Let's say all this, a full update tomorrow. I'm sorry, it's more than a 10-minute video. Apologize up front for that, but it's hard to do a full garden update in less than 10 minutes. But you'll see everything we got going on to date. I've been running 2 weeks behind on a lot of videos. For the straw bale garden part, we are actually up to date. So tomorrow's that come out, we actually done that one this morning. The hydroponic ones, they generally run a week or 2 behind because I do several. There's so much going on this time of year. You're trying to capture that data for people and all. You know, and I only do one video a week. And I just started doing the 2 here recently, but I don't see moving my channel to any more videos than 2 a week. Like, so yeah, stay tuned. We'll show you a bunch of stuff out here. I think the straw bales has been a wonderful way to grow. They grow monster. But wait till you see the squash out here. And they tell you, these plants are bigger than her car is. But how do I get these straw bales to grow like that? I get asked all the time when I'm pumping all these old nutrients out of both these greenhouses. That gets incorporated. It gets put on them plants outside. Absolutely. And if I don't have enough nutrient, I will mix up a 55-gallon barrel of nutrients and feed it to them straw bales. When we've done in-ground garden, I'd feed hydroponic nutrients to the ground. Absolutely makes plants explode.
Yeah. Cool.
Just to judge pH up. Yeah, that's all. Just watch your pH, because 5.8 in hydroponic, 6.8 in soil. Take that hydroponic, hold nutrient, bring your pH up on it, throw it to them plants outside. They'll love you for it.
Cool. Marty, BD Beats asked, what's your favorite native Australian pepper?
We don't have a native Australian pepper because I think they come out of Mexico originally, don't they? Peppers. So I don't know their origins. And yeah, I guess out of all the ones that I do grow would be the jalapenos, probably my favorite. Look, because I've got Thai friends and my daughter's half Thai and things like that, I'm going to start growing more chilies soon. Oh, yeah. We call them chilies here in Australia, not peppers, but same thing. And yeah, I'm going to have a go at it. I did have a go at some last year, and I bought some diseased plants, unfortunately, from somewhere, and it just wiped out all my plants. And my soil wasn't really healthy enough at that time to combat the virus that was around. So that's one thing that I don't like doing. And it's happened to me twice, and it happened to me a few times over the years, is bringing plants in from nurseries. Yeah. Sometimes they haven't shown the virus yet, you know. And it's pretty common with tomatoes, and it's anything in that family. And I think the chili, what's related, is a tomato in the tomato family. I'm starting to lose all my yeah, but they'll carry those viruses, and yeah. So I got a few jalapenos, but probably without raving on again too much, jalapenos, I would say, because they're short, stocky, not too hot, and you can do a lot with them. So you can make sauces, and you can put them in different. I just find you can just do a lot with them in a small space. I don't grow the real big ones because they just take up too much space and take too long to grow for me to come and harvest. There's more chance of a bird coming along and pecking on it and taking it. Yeah. Small space. So I want to grow fast. Stop any look, we've got lizards that come. There's a big blue tongue. You'll see them in some of my videos. We've got them breeding in our backyard under the fence line. Little babies come out this year, last spring. They go, ah, ah, ah. They sound like a crocodile or an alligator calling out. And the mum comes across the grass. She comes up and does the alligator head and grabs the strawberries.
Oh man!
And then the video on that. They go, I'll have a cherry tomato. But that's a whole part of the organics thing, is they'll come in and they'll clean up all the pests at the same time. So I'm happy to share some, but I've got to get them quick.
Yeah.
You need to catch one of them on a video for us. I'd like to see that.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool.
I think if you go back, if you put in my channel, you type in the word blue tongue in there, I'm pretty sure you would see it. Karen's right into holding them, and we didn't get footage of the little babies coming out, unfortunately, because it was so hard. As soon as you would run out, the mum would go and they'd all go back into under the fence, and then they wouldn't come out again for ages. So we'd hang there with the camera going, trying to capture it, and it just would go back inside, start again. So it was really hard to film. Unfortunately, we did our best.
Oh wow! Hey, let me know if anybody in the chat or you guys, if the noise is bothering you. We got a storm just started up, thunder and lightning, and I'm in a garage with a tin roof.
Can't hear it. Yeah,
okay. I don't hear it.
Okay, if you get to hearing that, let me know, and we can always continue this another night. But if y'all are cool, then we'll just keep going.
I don't know if you heard that truck that run by a while ago. It got headers on it.
Yeah, I heard it. And then we're right off the main road too. We'll have a fire station like a couple blocks away. So once in a while, y'all might hear that get started up and cruise right by here.
It's just a part of life, isn't it? We've got a barking dog that fights. The two dogs fight across the road up and down the fence.
It's the same time you're out there trying to film.
Oh,
Always.
it's across the road, thank goodness.
Let's see, Patricia Page. Where's a good place to buy tomato seeds?
I try to stay local. I'm Reamer up there in North Carolina. I buy a lot of mine. I try to stay with my local, or at least in state. We have a thing around here that we look after each other, trying to buy stuff. This online game is absolutely killing a lot of the locals around. So I try to take care of the local people.
Yeah.
I don't care if it costs $1 more. I'm helping you keep your doors open. I'm a small pop shop, so I know where they're coming from. So I try to take care of the locals.
Local seed's better anyway because it's used to the area. So
Exactly.
it makes sense to buy local to support the local and also get the best genetics in the seed that you can.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, Patricia Page, you're the one. Did you win Hidden Harvest Grow Lights last week when we had the drawing?
Woo-hoo.
I think she was one of the winners. And Brad, he was gracious enough to send me some lights too, so I'm going to hook those up and try to grow something under those. But he had sent me one. He didn't know the day that I received it was my birthday. It was like a birthday present that came in the mail. I was like, "Who's sending me something?" And it was from Brad.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So, but his link is down in the bottom. Marty, I got your channel down there too. I think that's where they've been finding it. Keely's been posting it in the comments. But Hidden Harvest Grow Lights, he's pretty cool, and got his link down there too. Somebody said ML.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. ML Gardner plus seed swapping. Those guys. Okay, so they're all just saying, hey.
About the seeds again.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marty.
And I'm really like plugging what CB said here before. Look, there's a lot of cross handling with seeds going on. People buy bulk, or they get them in from China and they get labelled and then they send them. So in Australia, they're changing all the laws around seed at the moment, especially organic seed, because of they're worried about the biology problems and things like that, bringing in disease and stuff.
Right.
But if you go into places like Amazon and things like that, and then you look at where they're buying them overseas, a lot of it's getting packaged in China and sent over here. So just, it doesn't mean it's not good seed. Just keep an eye on stuff treated. If it's treated with certain chemicals, it's going to kill the bees and it's going to kill the insects. And people go, but the seeds actually, the chemical, they think, well, by the time the seed sprouted, that chemical is going to be gone. Well, actually, it's not. It's actually taken up into the flower duct, so where the pollen is passed on to some of the bees. So try to keep it as local as possible. Stay away from anything that you think could possibly be treated. We've got huge ecological problems right around the world. Australia at the moment, we're number 4 in the world for losing our ecology here, right? And so it's super important seed's really important. A good quality seed, local, and stay away from anything that's got any type of being. Some of the treated, do your research on treated because there are some that are okay, but if you're not sure, steer away from it.
Cool. And then Marty's CB's right back. How are you doing up there, CB? Is it getting dark out there now?
Yeah, let me know if it gets too dark in here. I'll have to cut out when it gets dark. I don't got lights out here. Well, the street light will come on behind me, but
that's cool. Let's see.
What I'm seeing in the video right here looks like it's still got lots of light in there.
Yeah, I think, Marty, you're using about the same kind of webcam I'm using.
It's a Logitech. It's pretty cool. I can't, a C10 or something like that. It's like one of the ones that come out a few years ago, but they haven't upgraded it. It's a pretty good webcam. It's better than the one that's on my computer. And then I'm using a Yeti microphone, which is, like people can see it here.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't work with every bit of software, but it's a very good, and they're only about $150 or something. I use that for my recording.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to bring my USB microphone out here, but I was scared that it would pick up every noise really bad and y'all wouldn't be able to hear me. Actually, I'm using a Logitech camera too, and I'm using the microphone on it instead of using the stuff off the laptop. The laptop video ain't worth 2 cents. I'd be dark in here right now.
It's got 4 different directions on it. That's why I use it. So I can set it on the steady and it can point straight at me. So it won't pick up outside sound. Or then we can record in a room because I play music and stuff, and we can record inside the room where I can have an interview. People, microphone either side. I know it's not good, but
bi-directional.
They're good,
right?
Yetis, and they're a USB one as well.
Cool. Well, Marty, I got another channel. It's called the Creator Spotlight Show, and that's where a bunch of creators and that get together. If you want to pop on there anytime, it's people from all different niches and that.
Yeah.
But
I've seen you doing that. Yeah, because you've got your Instagram as well.
Yeah.
I knew that was you, Mike.
Yeah. But that's cool because then everybody, we've all got different niches and that, but we get together and just talk about like YouTube and going through, if anybody has problems, just helping each other, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, be happy to if I've got the time. I'm always happy to try and add value to people's lives if I can.
Cool. Yeah.
While y'all talking right here, I'm gonna walk through here and pollinate these plants real quick. So y'all carry on. I'm watching here.
We'll be watching how you pollinate it. Get the shaker out.
Yeah.
The long-handled shaker.
So now the peppers, like the tomatoes, I know are self-pollinating, and you just shake them, the peppers the same way.
Yep. Yeah,
cool.
Big bad boy.
One thing down here.
Live, folks. This is the real stuff.
Yeah, this is back when all of the internet first started, and then we were getting online when you had the webcam sitting up in the corner of the room, and just kind of like we're watching CB's everyday life.
Yeah, it's good seeing stuff like that. Like, I guess my place is only a little. I'm only a little 1 bedroom. Well, it's 2 bedrooms, garage sort of thing, and it's duplex, so 2 together. And then I've got you can walk up the backyard in about 30 seconds and 3 steps to the fence, sort of thing. But it's quite good. I quite like it. It's sometimes in my eyes, like, we can overdo it. Like when I go on because I've been into micro farming, and that's always been my passion. I go onto farms, I get invited over to consult and farms and things, and I go, why have you got the bananas all the way over there, and then your fruit trees way over there, and this over there, and then you've got your scrubland way over there, everything's separated. I'm just like, I can't. I've got this whole new mentality of how I think now, and it's all based around trying to make everything work within an efficient circle. If anyone's interested in that type of thing, and there might be a few people there, there's a guy called it's called the Potter Plan. You can watch it in YouTube, and he designed organic gardens years ago when there was droughts and stuff around, and he was a farmer, and I sort of follow a lot of those principles for that to sort of break it down. He talks everything from the soil biology to the plants and everything, and bring it all together so it's all working. So everything's 2 spaced apart. You won't get the insects fly. It's got to fly too far, or that lizard's got to travel too far to do its job, sort of thing. So just keep compacting it in.
Yeah. Now I watched tons of different videos, and that's when I kind of like was figuring stuff out for me. I watched, like I said, like you guys grow microgreens and the crankcase system. I watched that, and biointensive gardening, all these different things, and then take little bits and put it together. And that's why where I started using the microgreens, eating the microgreens, but then taking those, because instead of planting your plants and then thinning them out and taking the best ones, I was like, well, biointensive farming is like growing a lot in a small space and then taking the best ones out of those. And so Yeah. So if you watch it, there's right ways to do different things, but we, like I said, the experimenting is part of the fun, and then learning what fits you and your area too, because we're all in different environments. What works for me might not work for somebody not too far from here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Like what you with your cracky sort of systems and things like that, and I one reason why I do like really watching is because you're punching everything into that small space again. And I'm thinking, how is Mike going to do it next week? Next, you got the vertical ladder up, and I've done things with ladders as well with pot plants and stuff, but not so much drip, just hand feeding.
Yeah.
I really love it, and at the same time, I remember you mentioned something. It might have been, it wasn't online. It might have been in a comment or somewhere about getting more insects in, and more flowers and things. And in your system, I think from my past experience, a lot of people when they're growing in the cracky methods or something very similar, they're growing over some herbs and some leafy greens and maybe a little bit of tomatoes, and it's and getting food, but sometimes they forget that maybe they need to plant a few little flowers around, like it's maybe just not enough. Or you got to go around like what CB did, just shake everything, and if you forget to do that or you don't have time. And it's also really cool to just have those little bees just sort of hanging around. Like, you see like the blue banded bee here we call it the blue bum bee. Quite a big bee. They've got this fluoro ring around their backside.
Oh, cool.
You go outside and you see something like that just halfway down in a cucumber flower or something. It's really cool,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's because they spray heavy for mosquitoes around here. And
kills them off.
Yeah. And so I was used to being, a couple of years ago, we were out like on the farm or out on the land, and there was like swarms of bees. You let stuff go to seed, and there'd be honeybees and bumblebees and everything all over the place, and carpenter bees. But up here, if I see a couple of wasps or a couple of honeybees, it's like rare. So we are going to plant a whole lot more flowers than that next year.
I think there's ways around that for people that are doing systems similar to yourself and people that are watching this show. It's just by planting a couple of little native shrubs just around the borders of their plant and around their house and stuff. Start building them up. Just plant a few every year, stuff that's not going to full on shade out or take roots underneath and break things. And like do your research on what's sort of local, and then start like what a lot of insects do, and a lot of people don't know this, is they'll bury down in the winter time. And they go into a thing called diapause, and they'll go underneath the mulch and into branches and stuff like that. They shut down their system. So they'll hang local, and you can get them localized just in your place. And when they come out of diapause, or the eggs come out of diapause or whatever into the next season, they're just coming out of the mulch underneath, and they'll just climb up the plant again. And then you'll be going, where'd that praying mantis come from? But they've laid eggs down underneath some of the leaves or in the back bush or something like that. And so you can slowly build up your own local ecology. And then you talk to your neighbor and say, hey, look, I've got this little thing going on here. How about you plant something just next door, and we can make a little verge, and then they'll travel from your neighbor's tree to their tree. And, you can sort of, there is ways to do it. It just takes a bit of time, and they do come. It is that build it, they will come thing, as long as the sprays aren't in your area. And, you got to build up. People got to want to do it too. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. We moved into a city, and our neighbors are not like grilled. We're out there doing our thing, and they're like, oh, what the heck? What's going on over there? So,
Hey, Marty.
Yeah.
There you go, bud.
Yeah. Look at
that. You.
Crookneck.
Can you just boomerang it over this way? That's a beauty. Thanks for showing me.
That was buried up, and these two, Renee's, we'll talk about them in our video tomorrow. How things hide from you.
Yeah, cucumbers are good at that.
That's cucumber. The other one's summer squash.
Yeah, they're beauties.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to grow a little bit more of those. When we were out there on the ranch, I tried one year. We had loads of like butternut squash, watermelon. We had all kinds of stuff just growing, and they had peacocks. I was going at work for like 2 days one time, and I came back and they destroyed everything. Just one flock will come up and just peck every damn thing all the hell. But they
Yeah.
weren't eating it. They were like, there's little bugs, and pecking at it. So there was holes in everything and squash it all. And I was like, oh man. So we never tried to grow anything else. So now that we're up here, we might get back into that maybe in the fall. Cool.
Yeah, I've had similar experience with bush turkeys around here.
I'll have you.
Yeah, we don't have a wide move now. There's none here where I live now because there's not enough high trees for them. But when I was living before, as the suburbs built out, people started planting more bigger trees, which is great. But then the bush turkeys, they like the cover, so then they'll come in underneath. And same thing, decimate something in minutes.
Well, let me ask anybody in the chat if anybody's got any more questions than that. I can see CB, you're getting a little dark up where you're at.
Yeah, I'm needing to get on out of here soon.
And we got the storm coming in. But if anybody has any quick questions, if not, what do you call it? We'll go ahead and wrap it up. We're going on like 2 hours here. But if y'all enjoy doing this, I'd come on in again next Sunday. And Marty, and CB, if you guys want to jump on, if you see me here, I'll use the same software. You just click the link and you can pop on whenever you want. Open invitation.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Really does. Sounds good. I might have to run me a temporary wire out here to do it.
Before we go, can I let people know a little bit about my course that I'm doing?
Yeah. Go ahead, Marty.
Because it's only going to be open for a little while. The first one's it's the first very one that I'm doing. So if you go over to martysgarden.com.au, you'll see a page there where you can get on the waiting list. There's a bit of a waiting list there for when I launch it, because it'll only be that will only be open for 4 days. Then I'm closing it. So if you want to learn about worm farming and you're a beginner, then you can get in there and just jump on the wait list.
Cool. So that'd be an online course?
Yeah. It's inside. It's going to be inside my platform, inside my website. You'll be able to log in and things, and then there'll be a section in there, a coaching section as well, where you'll be able to write to me backwards and forwards. For 3 months, I'm going to have that coaching open for people that come into the course. So that means if they've got any problems at all, they can just message me inside. I'll message them back inside there. And if there's a big problem, we can actually look at getting some live video going and get right to the point. Because I feel that some people won't start gardening just because they're scared of failure. And I was a bit worried with failure with my starting this course and this, changing the website and everything, just going, you know what? People need this. I'm going to have a go. And if it works, great. But if I can help people a little bit more than what I have been, then it's worth a shot. So that's why I'm putting the coaching inside.
Awesome.
Two thumbs up, buddy. 2 thumbs up.
Thanks, CB.
All right, Mike. Yeah, I'm dropping the light pretty quick. I appreciate you inviting me to the show here. Hope I've helped people out. I'll be glad to do some more with you. No doubt about it. Every Monday morning, the Straw Bale Garden update from Renee's out. Every Thursday morning will be the hydroponic. Thursdays, I try to get them out between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. I appreciate everybody that's hit me up. Like I say, I didn't see the chat, so I didn't ignore anybody. I just couldn't see your chat. I'm on Wi-Fi out here. We done the best we could. But these 2 guys right here, they're absolutely amazing guys. Mike, I want you to keep up the great work. Marty, I hope you the best luck with that worm and your little school there.
Thanks, CB.
I think that you're going to do really well with it.
Thanks, buddy.
We appreciate it. We really do. Y'all guys are the best. We love you guys.
Yeah, love you too, man.
Awesome.
And as I always say, until next time, we'll see you later.
Cool.
See you,
Marty, your little outro.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, for the outro.
Yeah.
See you in the next video. Bye for now.
There you go. And I'm like, keep on growing. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Love y'all. Let's see.